This opening didn't take much thought. I talk about trains with faces a lot. My life looks cool, but it's really not. But now it's time for us to begin.
In late 2016, I had already been back into Thomas the Tank Engine for a few years, and had been looking at the Twitter profiles of Turtles and Thomas and Enterprising Engine 93 for a while. When I received my mother's old phone in early December of that year, I decided to make a Twitter account for myself. Besides the users that I already mentioned, I followed Thomas Wooden Railway, also known as Kikri. Soon afterwards, I found out from one of his tweets that Roy Wilson was selling part of his collection on eBay. Later that month, one of the Christmas presents from my family was the Thomas Wooden Railway reintroduction of Duck, a character that I had always wanted as a kid but never obtained, which reignited my childhood interest in Thomas Wooden Railway. Just after the new year, in January of 2017, I found Kikri's alternate account on Twitter, which is TWR eBay Deals. One of the first things I found from this page was a blue My Custom Engine diesel, which was a product that was cancelled by Mattel. The item had been relisted for about $12, so I bought it, making it the first Thomas Wooden Railway item that I had ever purchased with my own money. I was 17 at the time. Although obtaining a cancelled product is a great start for any collector, I made poor choices with my eBay account almost immediately. For almost 2 months, I bought and bought and bought some more. Some of my purchases were great deals. Others, though not total rip-offs, were quickly draining my bank account. Being new to eBay and collecting in general, I was unaware of how to search for deals efficiently. This will be discussed in detail later, but suffice it to say that by mid-February, my parents had already expressed concerns regarding my spending spree. Then Kikri posted this tweet showcasing a 1992 Thomas which he had purchased from Roy Wilson. After seeing this tweet, I saw that there were only 2 items still for sale on said eBay page. At the time, I had no idea that when a best offer on eBay is accepted, the person who submitted the offer is required to pay that price. On February 14th, 2017, I sent a best offer to Roy Wilson for another 1992 Thomas, originally listed for $358.95 US. To my great astonishment, the offer I had sent of $250 was accepted just a few hours later. Not having paid for the purchase yet, I began to panic. I had enough money to pay for it, but my parents had discovered, by means of monthly bank statements that they had received in the mail, they had discovered that I had already spent approximately $1,000 over the past month and a half on blocks of wood. This was the straw that broke the camel's back for my parents. They were not angry at me, but they definitely were not pleased with my choices either. I paid the $250 a few days later. However, I was also placed, as my father put it, on a spending freeze. A couple days after that, I stumbled across the other 4 versions of the My Custom Engine diesel. These were listed on a website I had never heard of before called AliExpress. I purchased these for $33.49 total, which a piece is even less than the blue diesel. These were lost in the mail, as well as the original certificate of authenticity for the Roy Wilson signed Thomas, but replacements for both were sent and eventually arrived. These diesels were the last TWR items I bought for several months, as I was not allowed to buy more until I had sold enough to make back the money I had spent. In that time, I was actually one of the winners of a giveaway that Kikri did on Twitter. Amazingly, the tweet for the giveaway was the first tweet I ever retweeted. However, school was to take priority over TWR sales, which hindered me from working on eBay listings. Since I wanted to keep a few of the items from the spending spree, I doubted that I would make back all the money I spent. Therefore, in July of 2017, I went back on eBay and bought a large lot of Thomas items, mostly TWR, for a few $100s, along with one smaller item. My intention for buying the large lot was to sell everything in it individually, and make enough profit to counteract any losses from selling the items I already had bought. I did this without my parents' knowledge, but they found out pretty quickly. Their reaction was worse than last time, given that I had disobeyed them this time. I also found out pretty quickly that buying in bulk is not the only factor to consider when trying to flip large lots. Now I was even deeper in the hole. When October rolled around, I stumbled upon an eBay listing for an unpainted Thomas, of which allegedly only 10 to 15 were made. This eBay user later went on to sell the controversial gold Edward. I still had to sell something before I could get one of the unpainted Thomases, so I sold a Black Wheels Terrence, which was the first TWR item I ever sold. The details of how I got the unpainted Thomas are a little complicated, but thanks to eBay bucks and an old forgotten eBay gift card, I wouldn't even have to pay the $29.25 when I was the highest bidder on November 1st, 2017. My parents did know about this one. I had their permission. In early December of 2017, the Twitter user Fred Pelhay, viewer discretion is advised, some of his stuff is not entirely appropriate, he posted a tweet of the Sparkling Clean Thomas, asking if anyone knew what it was. No one else did. Later that month, after selling a gray roof Boco on eBay, I purchased a few other TWR items, one of which was a gift for someone else. The other two were very good deals. eBay was going slowly, so around Christmas I tried putting some of the items on Twitter since I'd seen some other people do the same thing. Other TTTE fans, like me, responded very quickly, making it clear that Twitter would be the best way to go. However, when I started selling things quickly, I wanted to buy things again. I was unaware that the items were selling quickly, most likely because school was out and people had Christmas money. At the end of December, Fred Pelhay kindly provided the link to the auction of the Sparkling Clean Thomas. Unable to fully understand how Yahoo auctions worked, because I don't speak Japanese, I decided it wasn't worth the effort to find another cancelled product, given that I already had a few. I bought a couple more things in mid-January of 2018, one of which was another large lot with a sawmill and dumping depot that I wanted to keep. This lot was a much better deal than the last one, but it still failed to please my parents for obvious reasons. Of course, I am not, was not, and never have been broke, but the principle of the matter was much more important to my parents and I. In the months that followed, I had trouble deciding which things to sell, and also kept forgetting that I even owned the Roy Wilson signed Thomas because it was usually stored in a safe that was in another safe. No kidding. In that time, Thomas Ultimate 1213 and Callantale both did 2 separate unboxing videos of the items I traded or sold them. These 4 separate videos can be seen on their respective YouTube channels. Early in April, I bought another small TWR item from the same AliExpress seller that I got the cancelled diesels from. But this was once again done without permission. What's new? When I officially graduated high school in late April, I was given many gifts for the occasion. I used some of this graduation money for several deals which just happened to pop up at around that time, though, again, not all of it without my parents' knowledge, but technically for free. The most notable of these is the Sparkling Clean Thomas, which the seller in Japan had relisted for a bit less than $15. This is, likely to have been another canceled product, but for the details on some of these items that I got at that time, see this video.
So you're probably wondering why all that information was important. Well, here's the thing. When I see a tweet, especially ones that Thomas Wind Railway does, sometimes when I see those tweets of, hey, look at this cool item I got, I don't feel inspired, I feel envious. I mean, it's something I've struggled with for a good while now, being in the fandom and all. And when I saw that tweet that Kikri put out that said, hey, I actually got one of those Roy Wilson signed items, I saw that and I envied him, because I wanted one, And that was wrong of me. That really was. Now, of course, I'm still really happy, really happy to have one, because is a really cool item. I am not proud of my reasons for originally sending that best offer. I'm ashamed of those, and that's why I actually kind of kept it hidden. I kept this nice thing hidden for quite a while. And so, I just want to say to Kikri, to Thomas Wooden Railway, the user, I am so sorry. And I really mean that. I am sorry for just envying all these things that you had. This isn't a competition. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to have good, clean fun. We're not trying to compete. And you'd sent me this for free. You'd sent me this for free because I retweeted one of your tweets. And you even indirectly mentioned me in, like, a video you did on this guy, I think. And it's just... You treated me so well, and I didn't treat you... Inside, I didn't treat you very well. And I'm so sorry for that. And to everyone who bought Thomas Wooden Railway items from me, which just there's a lot sitting right there. I'm sorry for not being completely honest about why I was selling them. I didn't lie or anything. I just didn't say much of anything at all, which isn't, if you don't tell the truth, then you haven't told the truth, whether you lied or not. Now there's another part, a thing I'd like to say, and that's a thank you. Now, I've got a list right here. So, first of all, I am grateful that I had the TWR Collector's Handbook written by John Benitez. I purchased this in December of 2016, and since most of the prices in it are fairly accurate, it kept me from being completely in the dark. John Benitez, if you're watching this, thank you so much for compiling the information in this book. I also owe, let me see if I can get this right, I owe Fatty85730, the seller of the Blue Diesel, a huge thanks as well. He told me he's actually a good friend of John Benitez, this guy. And he's definitely a hardcore TWR collector, which I found out. It just keeps on getting better and better when I find out about his stuff. And you provided me with helpful information and several deals. And knowing that I was a young collector, he chose not to take advantage of my inexperience, and instead kind of took me under his wing. So thank you so much for the support. Also, another enormous thank you is due for my parents, as I probably would have emptied my bank account if they had not stepped in. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. And I know I sound like a broken record, but again, thank you for stopping me, basically. And finally, to all the people who purchased any of the items I had up for sale, which I still do have up for sale, thank you for giving me your time, your money, your trust, and a big bunch of stuff more. This especially applies to Thomas Ultimate 1213 and Callantail on Twitter and YouTube, who both showed me how to appreciate unboxing videos, because I used to look down on anyone who would do an unboxing video. I'm just like, that's 10 minutes of you opening a box. Why is that worth watching? But, you know, now that I've seen these guys make some videos about that, it's knowing that I sent them those items. It's so humbling. It just feels great to know that I could have a part in that. you guys were, both of you were so happy to get these stuff, and I know a lot of you others who didn't make videos were as well. So again, thank you so much for all that. A couple things I'd like to say before this huge video ends is, there's some ironies that happened. I mean, one of them is kind of obvious, that Kikri treated me so well, even though I had looked at him so enviously and kind of hid this almost bitterness. And also, I'd just like to make a general apology to anyone who has showed off large collections, because I have a hard time looking on that and not feeling like, no, I want that. I can do that. Why can't I do that? You know, and that's wrong with me, and I'm sorry. It's so ironic how Kikri treated me so well, even though I just hid these bad feelings from him. What's also really ironic is how, you know, I tried to get attention by posting pictures of, oh, hey, look at this item I got, it's really cool, or look at this, what I got, look what I bought. Different items that I got that were, well, during that spending spree, you know, I tried to post things that, it was just to show off what I had, but in a not so good of a way. It wasn't just like displaying it, it was like trying to, like, boast about it, and let me, again, like, I'm just, guys, please keep me accountable. Please, if you're watching this and you regularly look at my stuff, please keep me accountable and make sure I'm not, like, going off the deep end with just bragging about stuff that, oh, I got this, I got that. I got more relationships giving things away than getting things for myself. Within a week of putting some of this stuff on Twitter, I had Mr. Conductor Fan 1406 saying, hey, do you have any of that stuff for sale? Anyways, I had users that I never thought I would get to speak with on just normal terms. Yeah, I got them just messaging me saying, hey, you got that for sale? Hey, do you think you could sell me this, or could I trade this for you, that? Or it was great, and it wasn't because I got stuff for myself. It was because I'm selling these. I'm willing to let go of these things now. But the biggest, most ironic thing is, when I was going on that spending spree, I thought, money's really no object. I mean, I've got so much money in my bank account, I can get anything. Which obviously wasn't true. And I chose not to think too much about how much these things would actually cost. But I mean, there were different things I got that cost a lot of money. Well, would you look at that? I was having camera issues again, so we're gonna just fill this space with something random again. Anyways, sorry about that issue there. So, the biggest, most ironic thing that I learned from this is that, you know, when I was trying to get these things with my own money, and I was acting like money was no object, and for the average teenager, I had a lot of money. But, you know, I felt really good about myself for, you know, oh, which items I could pick and I could get that, you know, made me feel really good about my ability. It made me feel good about my ability. But then these deals just start popping up out of nowhere for nothing, and it's like, I mean, I still gotta kind of do some work to get to some of them. You know, make accounts here and there, and it's not like I still gotta work to get it, but it doesn't cost a lot to get these. And like, I mean, the My Custom Engine Diesels, I got those for like an average of like less than $12 a piece. Okay, the Unpainted Thomas, that was virtually free. The Sparkling Clean Thomas, that was like $15, and both of those Thomases, like, there's only like 15 of those in existence or something like that. It's like some higher power was like, oh, you feel that? You need to be taken down a notch. And the way I'm going to do it is by dropping the rarest items imaginable in your lap so that you won't feel so good about yourself. I'm not boasting that I have these. I'm not. Or I don't think I am, because, well, I'm not boasting about how I got them. I know that. Because they just popped up. It's like someone dropped them in my lap. And so I can't boast about how much money I have to be able to afford these. Because, honestly, an unpainted Thomas would probably be worth a couple $100. And so would a sparkling clean Thomas. And those My Custom Engine diesels would be worth like $50 each. But no, I get them, like, every single one of them was less than $15. And they're all, like, canceled products. And there's more, there's other stuff that I'm not even going to get into right now. It's so humbling to step back and realize, wait, I'm not as great as I thought I was. Anyways, I've probably taken up enough of your time at this point. If you're still interested, to those of you who are interested, I'm still selling most of that stuff. Links to all the people in the description. To God alone be the glory.